Game number 1, Hot Shot against Fat Nova. And no worries, guys, nobody's fat shaming Nova here. She hasn't lost her touch yet. Her ass is as sexy as it always was. That just means free agent team. We are looking once again at Heroes launch, GG, and it is Division 6 time. And we have a highlight, as you can already tell, because those lineups, they are more than a bit weird. Khaldor is the map, and on the left side, Fugitive on Nuburak, Dredge on Varian, Legrand KBA on Falstad with Nico on Brightwing, and Bleu on Junkrat. Sounds like the sound people make when they throw up. B-Boss on Maganis for Fat Nova. We have Vuza on Rega, Goryo on Dehaka, Galga on Jaina, and Antorigui on Zeratul. And the builds are already going wild. I mean, first of all, we're talking about Varian, and Varian went into the High King's Quest. That's never a good sign, because it means that we're seeing something else than Taunt. And again, Taunt is the level 4 talent if you actually want to become better and play on a higher level. But more interestingly, we have the Legion of Beetles on level 1 for Nuburak. I mean, Nuburak is still a tank where I'm always a little bit torn, especially when you don't have any burst damage behind him, and they neither have a support like Malfurion or Tyrande that could really lock the target down after Nuburak starts the initial stun, nor do they have proper burst damage. They have Junkrat, so they could follow up with a mine and try to catapult the target into the team, but that's already all the synergy that we have there. But then on top of it, you also have Beetle build started. I really hope that he doesn't go full ham on that one, because it's quite memey and not really what you should play there. But we'll see. We'll actually see. Okay, so at this point, let's head into the mid lane and check out what exactly is going to happen there. The good thing about the Nuburak, let's look at the positives for just a side, is that Beetle build or no Beetle build, his ability to spawn a few Beetles oftentimes help with them pushing down lanes, because those towers will shoot the Beetles first, so you can try and generate a few by using your abilities and then tower dive a little bit and try and get them wrecked quickly. That's something that they could try and exploit a little bit later. The lack of Wave Clear, on the other hand, is already giving Varian a little bit of a problem at the top of the map. Everybody else is just still easily moving around here. Nothing crazy happening yet. We have still on level 1 the Shadow Hunter taken for Zeratul, so it's all about the cooldown reduction with the basic attacks after you get your quest completed. And in the meantime, a push through the middle thanks to the camp that was taken early on. Junkrat is a little bit late, and Bleu is now also starting to... I mean, you can't tell me that this isn't the sound that you're making when you're throwing up like Bleu, Bleu, Bleu. Okay, I'm maybe over-exaggerating a little bit, but it's close. Also, I think this isn't even a B. This seems like a German S, so I'm not quite sure if that's supposed to... like, whatever that name is, it's silly. So, yeah, it's Twin Blades again. God have mercy. We already had one Twin Blades game just the other day, and now we have another one. It's getting quite insane. Honestly, it is getting more than a little bit memey right now. This is starting to get difficult. Very, very difficult to say the least. Difficult to watch, I might add. But yeah, it's still a little bit of a meme that in the lower leagues this is more successful. But again, it's all about the taunt and the burst damage. There's not a lot of burst damage here. But yes, Varian with taunt has of course a lot more control over the game. And I've explained the mechanics of it and those combos already a lot, so I don't really think we have to go over every single step here again. But also, if you have a Varian Twin delivering against you, then you kind of need to play around him a little bit. Isolation would work well, stuns from those heroes in general would be fantastic, a little bit of slow on Jaina, the burst damage, all of that. It requires a bit of coordination to go for the same target if you go up against that, but if you employ that, you should have an easy time there. Since they also run the Haka, another tool for Fat Nova is to try and run the macro game here. They have Falstad against them, so that's of course a bit of an issue here, because it means that both teams have a global, but especially with Dehaka, you have a chance to try and outplay that slightly. Question is also what's taken on level 7 here. In Division 7 or Division 6 we actually have to ask that question, because normally it's all about the boomerang, and Falstad desperately needs that here, not only because it is just hands down the best talent on level 7 no matter what you take, but at the same time you also want to make sure that you have now the wave clear on the off lane, or you're gonna... What the fuck was that? Juked around him a little bit. It's a bait. But yeah, the idea is of course that you have the extra wave clear here that then helps you to counter the wave performance of the Arca on the other side. Right now, it seems like Boss is in a bit of trouble. No level 7 for Falstad yet, and there's the kill. Melgan is already down and Boomerang has been taken. Good on Falstad, definitely picking the right talent that will help him to push out lanes a little bit quicker. Also stack his level 1 slightly faster. The talents continue with Seeker in the dark here. And no, Nubarak has at least not gone full on Beetle style. So we have him with a bit of a different setup. Still think that the Globe Talent level 1 would have probably done much better for him and allowed him to get a beefier hit point pool, because later on he's most likely going to need that. Would make his life a little bit easier there, but regardless of the level 1 talent, the rest is still kind of solid here. Going for the Subterranean Shield on level 7 helps. Obviously Varian is still going for the Rega alone is not going to be able to do too much about that. He definitely needs an assist up here topside. Or he is at least going to be under pressure. 2 kills against 0. Give the lead to the blue team for now though. And they also have taken 2 of the tributes that have spawned so far. And that means we could see a curse now. So it could be an early push against them. Bottom of the map. There's the drag this time. Yeah, didn't really get a lot of damage out with this. And of course... yeah, of course they go for the boss here. Okay, so they know that the opponent has to move topside. They actually anchor this. They have a trap here, they have something there. They go in with Varian. This isn't too bad. I don't hate it. I honestly don't hate it. It might be a little bit risky, but they have vision, and that really helps them with this. Yeah, Zeratul sees it. They have level 10, but they can't do too much about it. I've seen a lot worse. This isn't too bad. They didn't go for the fight around the objective. They just said, okay guys, let's go boss. Then we can rotate top, take another one. So from a macro level, this is actually not horrible. Could maybe have been executed even a little bit better, but yeah, this is nitpicking. I like that. Also, at least he went for the shield bot on level 10. These days, that is apparently not standard anymore, at least not on the lower leagues. So I appreciate that too. Not really a fan of the Emerald Wind these days. I really think that Blink Heal usually gives you more when you go for Brightwing. There's a lot of globals now, obviously, for them, and especially with the Polymorph, they have a fantastic tool against heroes like Zeratul. But here comes the attack, and now is the big question. Can they play with that? Falstad goes in position for a Mighty Gust if he has to. Yeah, there's even a Cocoon being used, a little bit too early, I might add, but still works out, and there's the Gust as well. They get the boss, and they try to go for the kill, and they might actually get a couple here. Ring of Frost with the connect, so does the Ancestral, keeping the Haka alive. Melgan is on the run, and might actually survive all of this. Rega is also on the move, and seems like everybody is going to get out of this, with the exception of Zeratul. Zeratul is taken down, a lot of value had by the camp in the middle of the map. But Hotshot is pulling off a bit of a macro game. Now I think they could have done a little bit more, generally speaking, with the 2 globals to soak more experience and be slightly ahead, but they have now taken both of the bosses. They are now putting a curse on the opponent. The only thing that you could really nitpick a bit is that despite the fact that they take both bosses, they haven't really done as much damage as you probably would have hoped to do with that. Because they are leading on every aspect. They've taken the bosses, they've taken 3 kills, they're now trying to take a couple of those structures, but they really need to make sure that they're claiming at least a few. And ideally they would put Brightwing and Falstad onto the lane so that they can global in if there's a big team fight, but so they are still able to soak the experience. That's a bad move, I think. We should have really moved down to the bottom. Soak the experience there, catch the incoming waves, try and push the fort, and then fly into the middle if need be. Here, he doesn't do anything right now. Like, what's the use of Falstad here? Zero use whatsoever. Like, there's no business... He has no reason to be here. It's not a 5 versus 5. The opponent is currently soaking all 3 lanes. He could have moved down to the bot lane. Got... Oh, that was a little bit too short. But yeah, Falstad should have been here in the bot lane. Now he is there, but it's too late. Again, he should have been there in the first place a little bit earlier, and then he could have flown over, would have given them more experience. Now they're only slightly ahead. So, yeah. But again, generally speaking, they are ahead. They're getting their camps, they're rotating, so they're not doing too bad. They have an advantage also in kills, so they're doing fine. But of course, you want to push these advantages as much as you can so that you never really end up in a position where your opponent is turning it around against you again. But since the Haka decided to commit Sudoku over here, well, that's 4 kills against 0, and that's now also a talent advantage for them. So things are definitely on the up for Hotshot. They look like they might be able to pick up the first win in this game. But we're not there yet. It's a little bit early. The discrepancy in experience is not really that big. Falstad uses his barrel roll way too much, by the way. You can already tell that his mana pool is always drained, and he's just barrel rolling around like a bunny on speed. It's a little bit insane. I mean, that guy is just barrel rolling whenever the cooldown is ready. So I guess he wants to activate the shield, but he needs to go back for mana all the time, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him now fly onto the lane again, which is another waste of the global cooldown. And this is a theme that I actually keep repeating over and over and over again, that just because you have a global doesn't mean you should activate it every single time you want to come to a lane. In this case, he's actually starting to move. I'm actually not 100% sure that his cooldown is back already, but you want to keep those global cooldowns and then go onto a side lane and use the global to join the team in a fight. So just YOLOing it out to be on a lane a little bit quicker doesn't really do anything for you unless there's a huge chunk of experience to be gathered that you would otherwise lose. But yep, over here, nice, makes his way over, keeps the global cooldown ready. I like that, so that at least is great. So now he can join the team in the fight at the bottom of the map as soon as Dehaka makes a move for the bot lane. And that's exactly what you should do here. So good move from him now. At the bottom of the map with 4 kills against 0, this tribute is actually pretty bad for Fat Nova because there, besides Dehaka, there's also a camp at the top and catapult. So as long as this is a lane that is not guarded by anybody, it's going to be great. I don't know why he flies. Okay, Dehaka now makes his move, so now it makes more sense, but you should always wait for that. Wait until you know what's happening. So they are starting to fly in because they have the advantage. Again, as long as they poke and they have Junkrat for that, they have the advantage there. Zeratul nearly took Junkrat down. And that's the kill against Zeratul on the other hand. Nice grenades coming through. A second one. The Ancestral not quick enough to save Dehaka. Hiking's quest is complete and Mal'Ganis at least gets the kill against Junkrat. But they're already jumping into the backline. And everybody goes for the aggression here with the red team. Still falling behind a little bit. There's a fountain that can be tapped too. That's definitely something that the blue team should take advantage of. And the tribute is channeled. This lane couldn't quite push out as much as they probably hoped for, but with 6 kills against 1, they're currently looking well. So right now, in comes again the quick barrel roll. And yeah, again, he uses it way too much. If you play Falstad, barrel roll is a fantastic tool, but stop using it all. It's pretty much similar to Vault with Vala. It's not quite the same thing, but it's very similar to it. If you can just simply spend another 2 seconds to walk somewhere, don't use that. If it's on cooldown and you get ganked, you're gonna die. You're gonna burn a lot of mana if you do it all the time. And yeah, so just keep that away. Positions himself here in the back though, just in case that they get attacked so that he can gust. Not too bad, but he has to Hearthstone again. The time that Falstad spends Hearthstoning in this game is kinda ridiculous. And that's because he's running out of mana all the time. But now they have level 16. And again, they have a lead. 16 against 15. Boss is claimed here up at the top. Should work out for them. They have the damage right now. Boss on both sides, of course, taken. An advantage, therefore, to hot shot, since they have at the bot lane the fort eliminated earlier. So this one is going straight for the keep, and someone has to deal with that. Dehaka should be here now. Dehaka is instead at the top. He should have Hearthstone back already. Should have gone down here for the defense. The team could have then taken position over here and fight 16 against 16. And Dehaka, after taking the hit points down a little bit, could have moved in. Instead, they go down with everyone trying to defend here. And the blue team can channel this one for free. I like that Nubarak goes to the side. Makes sure that he anchors the play a little bit. Also, we have at the top Varian doing the same thing. And they get a free tribute. But this is a tribute that the blue team could have fought over. So that would have been absolutely possible for them. They would have taken a bit of damage, a bit more damage down here, but it was definitely a thing that they could have pulled off if they wanted to. It's still in an okay spot though. Nearly even an experience. Falstad again barrel rolling over here, doing the exact same thing. Already low on mana again. And takes this one down finally. Also is able to channel another quick Hearthstone and back to business. One at a time. Down here on the other hand, Cocoon, they're trying to force the fight. He had a chance to go for the mine and push him farther in. It's always what you should try and do. If you play Junkrat with a couple of good stun setups, you can always go for the mine and then just push the target back in if you have the cooldown ready. Forza is back to business here. There's another tribute spawning in 20 seconds. There could be another curse. Gust into the corner. Not quite the best angle, but he at least stops them. Problem is that Forza himself is now in trouble. And the Ring of Frost connects easily with him and takes him down. Nice. And there's the second kill. If they can get a channel quickly enough, they might just be able to get the curse after all, though. Yeah, zone him out a little bit, but for some reason they didn't even try the channel. They could have gotten this. This was a freebie. I mean, honestly, this was a free channel. If you want the curse or not, that's a different question. You can also give it up if you feel you have more chances later. But if they wanted the curse, they could have gotten it. Varian is down now. They're trying to go for even more kills over here. There's heavy pressure in the middle of the map against them and also at the top. So those keeps are going to be attacked very, very soon. And with 2 tributes against 2, there is going to be a pretty decisive battle over the third, I'd say. The structural position, on the structural position, the blue team is miles ahead. But still, red team, this situation is more than salvageable. Especially with Epic Enter on level 16 now. Nuburak has also a lot more dive power for the blue team. There's another Gust, this time into the fort. Immediately trying to lock Rhaegar down here. And they're trying to move in, but Jaina's missing. So they're just trying to retreat here. The red team is on the move. Moving away from this, another Riptide explosion only hitting Zeratul. And the next tribute is going to be up, but there's a lot of heroics that have already been used, and, well, Ring of Frost is there. So at this point, they're starting to try and make a play for this one, and this is going to be a curse. Top side, Dehaka, nice, moved back, can actually help with this a little bit. Might be a bit late, but still, the move in general is a good one. But now they have to decide if they want to fight here, and they are just letting it happen. What's that again? He likes his barrel roll. The guy is having a lot of fun. He's top damage on the team, 25,000. There's a lot of siege damage too. But he definitely likes his barrel rolls. He's just like, wee! Look at me! I'm a bird! I'm an eagle! Oh, God. Alright, bot lane pressure. Well, the Haka can help them out now. Yeah, the problem is that Mal'Ganis is already dead as the Haka comes in from the side. So with him eliminated and now nearly level 20 in the hands of Hotshot, they might just be able to bring the curse to full power and drop, well, maybe even... I mean, if they get a kill, they can maybe even go for the core, but first of all, they take the keep and they can pretty much take the second one in the middle for free if they are happy to just take keeps here. So yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Move straight in, try to take this one down. Easy peasy, and that's of course a lot of pressure that they have now. You can always make the argument if they might have been able to make a play for the core, but then again they're trying to play it safe, I assume. Level 20 talents give us amongst other things now also rewind for Nuburak, so a lot more stun power from him. Plus wind tunnel. Also gonna play that out, and frenzy. Yeah, good old Varian. Sitting at 23,000 damage. Didn't really feel necessarily that impactful so far right now, but of course against the boss is absolutely great, just like hammering through here and getting this done. And this is one of the things that I like about them. They're very diligent about those bosses. They really pay attention to them, and they've also done a pretty decent job. Close call. After he messed up the one earlier. This is fantastic because over here you don't even have to fight. You don't have to YOLO into this. You can bide your time. Just play for time. You have time. They don't. The boss is pushing bot lane. You can buy yourself a little bit of time. You don't have to fight here. Just move back, retreat. Don't engage into the battle. A battle is what the red team wants. You don't want to give them what they want here. So right now they delay. They get Zeratul. Still fighting a little bit too hard. Could play that out a lot better, but they're still winning the fight, so it's all good. But generally speaking, if you want to play it smart here, you just poke from the outside and you force them to always bounce between you and the boss, and you buy time for the bottom boss to go for the core. That's exactly what you want to do here. They go for Rhaegar, they take him down, he has no chance there. Jaina is the only one moving back at this point. Jaina doesn't even have an ice block yet. They're trying to make the play for Mal'Ganis, and they of course are going to get him eventually. The Haka, I assume, is going to get out here. Yep, but now they're going to go for boss. I don't know why, because they can end the game. If the boss doesn't end the game, they could, so I don't know why they're actually going for the boss here. There's pretty much no point in going boss, so... like, I honestly don't know why. But since the Haka decided that he wants to take the minion wave down, for some reason the boss takes the core down himself and says, like, I'm done with this shit. And that's the 1-0 lead for Hotshot. GG. Game number 2, ladies! The Hot Shots, with a pretty solid series in game number 1. A couple of minor things, but still, generally speaking, pretty solid performance there. Last fight, could have played that a little bit calmer. They gave the opponent a team fight that Fat Nova wanted and needed, so they had another chance to turn the game around. But since the fight was won by a Hot Shot anyways, it didn't really matter. Now we have on the left side of Alterac Pass, Fugitive on Anubarak, Dresh on Arthas, Legrand KBA on Falstad, Nico on Stukov, and Blue on Leeming. B-Boss on Mal'Ganis for Fat Nova. We have Anto Rigui on Kira, Vuzar on Rhaegar, Goryo on Imperius, and Galga on Jaina. A couple of the guys on the same heroes again. And Anubarak really seems to like that Legion of Beetles build on level 1 at least. Always a little bit of a weird one to be honest for an Anubarak player. That extra HP that you get through the Regeneration Master is usually quite powerful. Despite the fact that sometimes, of course, you want to have the extra spell shield. But also, we have a trade build. Now, as much as I like the memes for Arthas, this is a pretty shit talent. It's honestly pretty bad. General Arthas builds are just way better. Eternal Hunger is always kind of fun. I personally think that Blizzard should really increase the extra damage that you can get through the talent a little bit to make it semi-viable. Right now, you always think about it as a talent that outside of the mana management also gives you in the late game a pretty solid damage boost. It doesn't really. And it's a little bit sad because it would be cool if you could make that happen, but with it only increasing the attack by 4 damage, even if you get 40, which is not a whole, which is actually quite a bit, and most people are not even going to reach that, you only have 160 extra damage in the late game scenario. That's not really all that great. So Blizzard could definitely tweak the numbers a bit on that talent in order to make it semi-viable. But right now, it's definitely not a good choice and a bad option for Arthas. But then again, you get dings, and we all love dings. So on the lower leagues, you can ding around a little bit if you want. Falstad with the mage build. Gathering Storm for him as the level 1 talent. That's a little bit of a hot choice that we are seeing from here now. And he still likes to jump. He still likes to go for the barrel roll. Again, shield, of course, can be kind of helpful, but you burn your mana pool down very quickly. And as long as he does it on the camp, I'm really not that salty, but he is just dropping that button whenever he has an opportunity to, so we'll see. For now, we have, well, also the Kira setup, of course, and with level 1, we have the maximum effort once again. Should then go, hopefully, into a traditional build here, but when it comes to builds, it was actually not really too bad in the late game. I mean, again, you won't find necessarily always the top build that you see in the semi-pro scene in those leads, but a lot of the builds that we saw, even when they were a bit more out of the box, at least had a little bit of synergy with them. And here, pretty much the standard with upstage, so Blood Rage is usually the traditional level 4 and level 7 pick for Kira. With Stukov in particular, I'm also interested around level 13 and see if he has the extra lockdown that he provides the team with, because the virulent reaction is kind of a must if you want to go for something like this. He really likes that button. I believe I can fly. And also dominance for Liming. Okay, so this is a big map again, and only one team this time runs a global, so that should definitely help them a bit. We had a huge amount of boss focus in game number 1 by Hotshot, so maybe a chance for them to show that also here, even though, of course, it's a little bit later in the game. But it's a pretty big map. I mean, it's all about the prisoner camps. Usually it's a delay until level 7. It's pretty easy to interrupt your opponent here, and especially if Falstad soaks extra experience, they should get an early level 7 that they can help with. I mean, they are behind. Think about this for a moment. They are the team with the global, and they're behind in experience, which shows you pretty much that despite the team fight efforts that we've seen from Falstad in both games so far, he doesn't get a lot out of his global, and that's a big problem. Falstad should be here at the bottom of the map. He should push that lane out. He should get the additional experience for the team. His team should try to make sure that they're protecting the camp over here. Buy Falstad a little bit of time, get the early level 7, Falstad flies in, and you fight the fight with an advantage over your opponent. So that's pretty much the best thing that he should do. And again, really low on the mana despite the tap, because he barrel rolls just continuously. But now he's getting caught anyways. And you know why he gets caught? Because barrel roll was in cooldown. Perfect example of what I've been saying the entire time. Instead of just walking around here, he barrel rolled over, and the opponent's team caught him right there while he was still on the barrel roll cooldown. Perfect example of him overusing that. So, yeah, definitely something that you want to use a little bit less. Doesn't mean that you don't have to use it at all, but you want to keep it as an escape tool for a lot of reasons. Anyways, at this point, the red team is really making a lot of progress. They have level 7 and they're using it just to its fullest. They have a Nubarak down just after they got the kill against Falstad, and they are absolutely wrecking here. The bird is back, maybe even a counter kill, and yes, they get it against Mal'Ganis. Part of the reason was that Imperius was actually not here, so this was a bit of an even battle, which you don't want to give your opponent when you are in the lead. But in comes Kira and trying to drop some damage, and she indeed does, but they were not able to grab the objective. That's another good example where Imperius moved topside to push this out. The team took a fight, and despite the fact that they had a level 7 talent advantage over the opponent's team, they couldn't really do a whole lot with this. So yeah, it's like these small things. You always want to try and use the advantages that you have to fight these fights, which they currently haven't done so far. Alright, so Calamity is now in. That's a big tool, of course, and also the Subterranean Shield for Nubarak has been claimed again. Rhaegar straight in with the cleanse, so they won't be able to deny some of those stuns. And Falstad with Boomerang. And I appreciate that at least. Quest completed for Arthas, can of course still stack the damage. And the team is busy around the camp, which is why they're giving up the prisoner camp for just a second. But now, since they have the gnolls moving through the middle, they can now focus on this a little bit more. They're still ahead in stats, but they gotta make a move here now. Kira is slightly isolated, but not enough to not participate in the battle, so she starts to come in. Rhaegar takes the camp back. There's the silence. Kira comes into the back line, going straight in for Li Ming. Gets locked down, though, and that's an easy connect and nearly a kill, but Kira is able to get away. Li Ming, on the other hand, nearly falls and is just able to make it out, thanks to the help of Stukov, who helps her here. Another quick kill against Imperius, though, and yeah, the blue team starting to look quite strong again. Especially since they might even add the second kill against Mal'Ganis, and yes, they do. So now a quick shot towards the objective, and they could be able to grab this. The camp, on the other hand, is still doing work, so this wasn't taken for nothing. Goes through the entire wall and is also going to start pushing the fort itself now. And that prisoner camp is still active. If Kira doesn't die, if she's able to get out with the help of Rhaegar, they might be able to buy enough time for Imperius and Mal'Ganis to come back, and they are still ahead in experience. And the blue team is realizing that they're getting absolutely murdered in the middle. So they're now sending heroes over to first of all soak the experience and then also ensure that they don't lose the fort here, but the fountain has already been dropped. So that's a bit of a bad look. And with that 5 versus 5 setup, despite the fact that they're behind in kills, Team Fat Nova can now start to make a couple of plays here, and they're doing exactly that. Trying to move to the top for this. He was already sitting there. Nico with another quick silence on Stukov, getting the lurking arm through. Try and make the play, zone them out. A little bit of a flank from behind. Arthas actually gets locked down and he's in a lot of trouble. Kira is just occupying 3 heroes at the left. And Falstad again without mana. Arthas is down. Kira is about to fall to... Oh, Rhaegar with a big boy save. Ancestral and heal keeps Kira alive. And now they go for the channel, and this time they're going to lock the objective in. And they have level 10 abilities together with that. Well done. Yeah, 4 kills against 4. Someone needs to go to the bottom of the map and try and soak as much of the experience that they have here. But well done. Yeah, Rhaegar going straight in for the big boy plays there. The cleanse and the cleanse and the heal were just absolutely perfect. I mean, both of them were able to save her, and that was actually pretty well done. I actually think I said ancestral, but I meant cleanse, obviously. So with level 10 abilities, we can now start to push this. We'll push up at the top, one at the bottom of the map, and with 10s on both sides, there's at least a chance for the blue team to defend, but this should cost them. Especially in the middle. I mean, that radar is doing work and will drop that fort for sure. Once again, another quest completion here for Arthas as he's starting to go deep for this, but the fort is down at the bottom of the map. The bird needs to be careful, at least able to defend. Barrel rolls obviously again, and this time it had the nice effect of catapulting Kira on the wrong side of the fort, and she is completely lost here. Get some assistance though. And there's the save and the kill against the bird. Falstad is down, but topside it seems like Imperius is gonna die for the 3rd time, I think. And he has a tough time here. Syndragosa also taken by Arthurs. But they are losing more at the top. They're losing the fort at the bottom. Blue team is starting to suffer a lot here. Yeah, and the bird definitely had a few problems here. Now it's straight up boss time. But both of them go for the boss this time. So, yep, there we go. That was actually a pretty sweet one. Oh, yeah. They're easily gonna get that. Where's the big difference? This boss has to go through the fort. This boss goes straight for the keep. So, depends a bit on how the red team now plays it. It's still an early boss. I mean, we're talking 10 minutes. So, that doesn't necessarily do as much as you might want to. But if they push with the boss now, they have the chance to do some serious damage here. Whereas up at the top, Imperius alone should be able to defend this. This is an interesting play though. They're trying to steal this one away, which in and of itself is not useless, but it allows more time for the red team to go to the bottom and break through the wall. Now don't get me wrong, it's unlikely that they're gonna get... The bird! It gets stolen away!
Surprise, motherfucker!
Does all the work, and then the team moves in and simply says, that's my camp, thank you very much of it. He's gonna be a little bit tilted. So yeah, that's that. Then again, here comes the attack against the keep. Just as I was about to say, they're most likely not going to get the key, but as long as they do some damage, they're going to be fine. And yeah, this is doing way more than the one before. Rhaegar, by the way, is on an ancestral cooldown. I think he actually used that at the boss fight, if I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty long cooldown. That's definitely not something he used during the battle. They also move away from it. Like, why? They could have taken this. They should take it soon, honestly. Topside fort has been lost. That's still a fantastic trade for them. But they should have destroyed that keep. I'm a little bit flabbergasted that they didn't go for that, especially considering the heroes that they had with that push. One more combo from Jaina would have definitely ended the keep, and that's just incredible pressure to the bottom of the map. Now level 13 talents are available on both sides, but damn, this is getting, let's call it interesting. Also, a weird talent to take. Giant Killer on 13 if you're going into a full mage build, really. Especially with the obsession that that guy has with the barrel roll, you should go for the barrel roll talents on 13 and 16 and make sure that you get the cooldown reduction and the earlier tailwind activation. That would help them way more. But right now, well, there goes the attack against Mal'Ganis, and he barely makes it out. Rhaegar was cocooned. Nice, they're trying to avoid the Ancestral. But Li Ming goes down first. The Ancestral goes off, and they're going to crush him now, aren't they? There's the quick kill attempt against Stukov. He's down. Kira comes back in, tries to go for Falstad. Can't connect with him, but Arthas is still lost, and he doesn't have any escape tools that would benefit him in that situation. The bird is still a little bit out. Flyaway attempt, interrupted, and time for the KFC basket. Maybe or maybe not. Seems like he's gonna get away, but I can tell you who's not gonna get away. That keep. Keeps can't run. I know, shocking revelation here on the stream. You heard it here first. But this one goes down right away, which means obviously that they have now bot lane pressure, and a lot of it, they can steal camps away. 16 talents are just around the corner, so that's another big one. And yeah, they have a fantastic lead right now. Red team is incredibly ahead here. 8 kills against 5, 16 against 14. Bottom keep already destroyed. That means 1 armor shield is missing on the core already. I don't know why they didn't push this. I think they could have done a bit more. Well, they go for the objective, which isn't bad either. But with level 16 talents, 2-level lead, and the camp, they could have probably done a bit more damage on the keep. Maybe even take it down. But since they take the objective, they're so far ahead that the chances of Hotshot getting level 16 before the raiders come in are pretty much non-existent. They need to fight here though. Oh, the bird has a problem. Bird has a big problem. Bird has a lot of problems, and the bird goes down again. The bird is dead, and I think we're going to see Stukov fall once more too, doesn't he? Yeah, Stukov is down, and that is once again a
triple kill!
Easy one. 3 down, and actually it seems like we might even see a quad kill coming in. He wants to go for Arthur's. Oh, damn son. Yeah, that was close. That nearly locked him down right there. But okay. 3 kills. He's running away. Everybody is gathering in the middle. The goal has to be the mid keep. That's something that you want to get for now. And here we go. Let's actually see if they can drop... I mean, they're going to drop this one. I, at this point, am asking myself if they have a chance to go for core. If they get a kill, maybe 2. They have Still a few cooldowns ready. Ancestral gives them sustain. Also the last strike here, so they have a chance to actually make this the end of the game. Keep is gonna fall. That's not a question. I mean, it falls before the Raiders here. It gets 2 hits in, that's it. But now they can actually make a play for the core. If they push in with this. And they should. There's 2 Raiders in. I have no idea why they're not being more aggressive around this. I mean, they're trying to go topside, but they should have been more aggressive here. They have all the tools that they need in order to check if they can end. But instead they want to play it super safe. Get all 3 keeps and then play the game or win the game in the long run, I suppose, is currently the plan. But bottom Raider is now also about to be eliminated. They at least crush through the wall topside. Bosses are, of course, now going to become even more important in this game. At least for the red team, since they want to use those to win. They can get the kill here. Yes, an Uberak low, needs to be careful. Falstad immediately bursting them out. Asymmetry with the ring, of course. Ring doesn't get anything connected here. Oh, sorry, he moves away, but still. Can they take the whole thing? Maybe. I'm gonna try. Falstad? Falstad is a tough game. Kira is absolutely hammering him into the ground the entire time. She's great against the bird. And now they're gonna get that keep, aren't they? Yeah, they might even be able to get an Uberak, and indeed they do. An Uberak down, the keep eliminated, and they might go for core here. Level 16 talents are now in on both sides, but this might already be too little too late, as we could look at a 3rd game in this series. The red team is definitely starting to smell a bit of an opportunity here. They have 2 heroes eliminated. The entire front line is gone. Only 2 damage dealers are still available, and the lanes are now pushing in. But for some reason, they are actually moving away now. I mean, if you're already heading out, then at least go for the boss. At this, seriously, if you run away from this, at least just go down, take the boss. If you want, take the 2nd at the top. By the time you get boss number 2 topside, you're gonna have level 20, and then push that. I think they could have ended the game right then and there. But if you want to play it super safe, yeah, then go boss, and push with 20. That's all that you need to do. So yeah, the camp itself doesn't really do anything. Anubarak is actually trying to check the top boss, but they are at this point at the bottom, so he picks the wrong one for this. Imperius needs to be careful that he doesn't die to that guy. But yeah. Alright, so boss at the bottom is going to be taken. They got that. They might actually be able to push with this one. Yeah, they're so close, they could just push with this one, honestly. And that's indeed what they're doing here. So they will have level 20 with this, and this should be the end of the game. Falstad is the only one defending right now. Everybody else is taking topside boss, which isn't going to do a whole lot for them, but they are already pushing in. And of course he barrel rolls first. First thing to do, barrel roll. Need that shield, baby. Need that shield. Boss at the top is taken. Down here they can poke a little bit. Boss is already starting to move in. And here we go. That's a gust play. That doesn't do too much, but Syndragosa at least comes through. Captain Itsugai would be proud of this one. Nice play there. But not enough to really make a difference, I think. That's more an offensive tool that they're trying to use. Instead, it's an Uberak who goes down. So another bug not only reported, but also eliminated. And we're seeing Arthur's fall too. Both of the tanks are gone, and that is the end. Game number 3 comes up. Fat Nova successful in game 2 against Hotshot, and we jump into the final game of the best of 3 series here in Division 6. Game number 3, the conclusion on Infernal Shrines. Hotshot on the left side with Fugitive on Mirrodin, Dresh on Zonia, Blur on Junkrat, Legrand KBA on Kalthas, and Nico on Brightwing. To the right side of the map, what do we have here? Fat Nova with, yeah, an Asmodan Johanna combo. Old school, B-Boss on Johanna, Galga on Asmodan, we have Goryo on Imperius, Wusa on Deckard, and Antorigui on Maiev. Yeah, the old school setup. If you play with Asmodan, you always want to have another hero that has AoE, so that Asmodan has an easier time stacking in the early game. That was the old school combo that was played by pros in Europe the first time on Blackheart's Bay back then, where Johanna and Asmodan rotated between the top and the mid lane, because they're so close together. Was also the reason why Asmodan was so incredibly popular for a while on Tomb of the Spider Queen. lanes that are very close together, and that's exactly what happened there. But yeah, so in this case, you want to attack the minions a little bit. Azmodan wants to throw the globe, and then Johanna comes in with a condemn and destroys them and helps him stacking. So yeah, exactly what they're doing here. In this case, they use Maiev for a little bit more damage. You can also just auto-attack the minions a little bit at the beginning, but this is exactly the rotation that you need to go for. So I like this already. Honestly, just because I'm so happy to finally see this, a round of applause here for Fat Nova, because I've seen so many teams do this wrong, especially in Division 6, Division 7. It has been driving me crazy, but so big round of applause here for Fat Nova for absolutely rocking that particular combo. Great play. Great play. Guys, you deserve it. You deserve it. Fantastic. So they stack pretty quickly here, and that will help Azmodan to get his power spikes a lot earlier. And of course, at some point, he's going to be able to take these waves down by himself. And once that's actually the case, he has a super easy time. But just look how diligent they are. Lane to lane the entire time and make sure that they stack him as much as they can. And if you want to play with Azmodan, and there's always the big question, should you? This is the way to do it. Exactly that. They actually got stunned here. They still get most of it, so it's nice. But the first attempt for a globe throw got interrupted by Muradin, who hammered the Stormbolt in. Now we have topside, still that Imperius battle, and he doesn't really look too hot at this point. Imperius is having a bit of a problem there, so he's not really winning that particular trade. But yeah, down to the bottom of the map with 50 stacks for Azmodan after 2 minutes. That's pretty solid. And once he hits level 10, that's when you really want to, with the Tide of Sin, of course, have a little bit more pressure there. That could be a really nice throw also, if he controls that point a little bit and he gets some decent stacks out of this too. Can they get enough damage in to win this? They are about to lose one hero though, that's a problem. The main tank is down, and with all the heroes incredibly low, the blue team still wins the fight, takes 2 down, eliminates Johanna, eliminates Maiev. And that's a setback, and a big one at that. A level behind already, 2 heroes behind. Azmodan still waiting to get a little bit more powerful here. But after the initial start, that's a problem. That's a nice globe throw. That's a lot of stacks right there. You can hero stack, my friend. You don't also... I mean, yes, you want to go, of course, for minions too. But you can get quite a few out of heroes as well. Okay, so... Now, as the teeth are chattering and clattering, we have the first objective announced on the map. Level 7 would be a big, big boost for the blue team. If they can fight around level 7 with this, that would be fantastic. Which is why the red team should force this as quickly as they can. Because the more time they waste now, the easier it is for the blue team to get a level 7 before all of this is the case. So a few more stacks for Azmodan at the bottom. That's a bit more experience for them now too. They're trying to catch up. And they're also employing Imperius for that. Look at this. They actually pushed out 2 lanes before moving in here. I like that move a lot. They're still a bit behind, and that could become a huge problem, but I like that idea. And nice! Deckard Cain. There's a reason why he has been so powerful on this map for a long, long time. He has fallen off quite a bit in general, but this is one of the fantastic zoning areas where he just excels, and that's exactly what we just saw. Azmodan even gets the last hit in against Sonya, so that's a kill. 95 stacks for him already, so very, very solid setup considering that we're only 3.5 minutes into the game. And with that kill, they have also caught up on experience a little bit. If they take the waves in the middle, then they are going to close the gap to level 7 very quickly. They also have still the objective being fought over, and the teams are neck and neck here. Once again, another setup. There's the lockdown attempt. Brightwing gets caught. The rest of the team runs away. Azmodan could go for another globe and does, and connects it beautifully. Doesn't do full-on damage just yet, but that's still quite a bit. Khaldor also with the gravity lapse and living bomb after living bomb. An advantage even now. And, nice Wall of the Warden here from Maiev. Able to get out for now. They are missing 2 stacks and they get it. Arcane Punisher is taken. They grab the Arcane Punisher, and now the big question, of course, again, bait over the wall or no bait? And Sonya screws it up, and that's why we have even more pressure now from Fat Nova. I'm not gonna go over the explanation on how to bait a Punisher again. You're probably as tired of listening to the explanation as I am explaining it. If you're really interested, then check out the video that I uploaded before this on YouTube. But this shouldn't happen. The entire wall is destroyed. Sonya is down. The team is pushing. They can get the damage in against the fountain. I mean, this is a really good value from the first Punisher, and way more than they should get. They didn't get the fort, but also because they didn't push with 5. This is something that just should not happen. So once again, we have level 7 talents on both sides. Now Muradin is getting a little bit murdered here. Fugitive needs to be careful. He gets locked down. That's an Asmodan connect. They're trying to go for them. Maiev is a bit low. Did he just hop on the point? Okay, first of all, did he just hop on the point? And second of all, did they not kill him? The fails are real to an extent that I don't even know what to say here. Instead of jumping away, he jumped onto the point and then they didn't kill him. Oh god, the fails are strong with this one. I mean, damn son. Muradin had one chance to escape with his life, and apparently they got so confused by him not using it to jump over the wall that they didn't forget to kill him. Nobody realized that he was still there, apparently. Instead, it was the blue team that takes it. Now, that's a twist that I didn't see coming. That should have not only been a camp in favor of Fat Nova, but it should also have been at least 1 or 2 kills for the team instead of them losing heroes. So, yeah, that was... let's call it special. Mixed results here. But yeah, Maiev comes in again and tries to set something up for the old man. Hit him with a stick is what I say. There's level 10, bit quicker for Fat Nova. They have 180 stacks already for Asmodan, just as he picks up his Tide of Sin on level 10. Maiev is still waiting for the choice. Up at the top, still that battle between Sonya and Imperius. And there's a level 10 versus any second. Level 10. Really? Without a level 10 ability, they're going for an invade? Now that's ballsy. The old man walks in and is like, the fuck is happening here? They're never gonna see it coming. He hopped on it again. Sonya is down. Yeah, dude, even if he sleeps, he can take the camp. But I love the enthusiasm of Fugitive. He just hops onto the points the entire time. Using it as an escape tool or as an engage tool. Nope. Just sitting there and making his plays. Okay, so in this case, less shield comes out, doesn't do a whole lot. R buttons are being pressed. Sonya, by the way, went leap but didn't use it. But it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. The meme dream. Yeah, you don't need it here. And he realized that too. He walked in and was just like, wah, wah. And has to rotate bot side, but he wants to pressure out one lane at the top, so yeah, I can appreciate that effort at least. Quest is completed for Asmodan on level 1, so that helps him, of course. So right now he's done with that, and the cooldown reduction is going to be fantastic. He's working on the 400 that he wants to go for next. But yeah, this is going to be really, really good. Oh, well, let's see. Imperius and Sonya are still topside, which makes this a 4 versus 4 down at the bottom. Yeah, still the attempt to get a little bit more damage in with Asmodan. Oh, should have maybe waited for that one. Nice lockdown now. Kalthas is down. That's the first kill. And oh, the double Asmodan with a big hit here. Holy hell. And Muradin jumps out, is able to get away. Close call though. This time he didn't use it to hop on the spot, but actually used it as an escape tool, so good for him. He's able to make it out, but damn, that Asmodan dunked the last one. That one was fantastic. So yeah, nicely played. They should be able to get the next Punisher. They have a level lead and a talent advantage now over their opponent. But this is a funny third game that we have here. Ooh, random Sonya death at the top lane. Okay, the one-on-one apparently didn't go too well for her. 36 stacks. And they're gonna claim it. That should actually result in the first fort being taken. And please bait it over. Please bait it over. Please bait it over. Please. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you have to appreciate that. At least now they're waiting, they're baiting it, and there we go. That's a proper defense executed here. Wait behind the wall, bait it over, and start to go for the defense. I like that. So yeah, that's gonna make things a little bit better. Still might cost them the fort though. I mean, they still have a talent disadvantage, the blue team. And Maiev goes deep. Oh, and the Punisher. It's party time. 1 down, 2 down. Oh, they're wrecking them. Initially a good setup and the right moves, but with the talent advantage and the power here at the bottom, it's just a little bit too much for them to handle. So, yeah. There's another... Oh! Get wrecked, Fruit Fly! Get wrecked! Bye-bye! glorious. Brightwing just sits tight and gets taken down. Punisher comes in and says, I hate fruit flies too. Goes in and just drops it. Absolutely lovely. Fantastic. Yeah, 13 versus 15 now. 10 kills against 3. And Red Team is trying to run with all of the momentum that they have now. So they should. So they are starting to move in. Asmodan doesn't get any stacks because the people, all the heroes on the other side are dying before he can do anything. Have we seen a proper leap? I don't really think so. So Muradin again with another hibbity hop. Has to use the avatar to get away from this one too. And is able to pull that off. But Kalthas has already fallen. They haven't taken all of their talents yet either. It's a theme today that we have Kalthas players just reading their talents for some reason. I don't really know why it happens, but it's definitely true. They're going for Muradin again, and the dwarf hops out, gets locked down, and their fruit fly is dead again, and so is... Well, no, Muradin gets away. Nice! Well done. Yeah, so I tried to kill him, couldn't. So, good for him. Kalthas, Pyromaniac. Finally, there we go. 16 talents now on the other side, though. And with 12 kills against 3 and 2 forts taken down, they're in a great position. Should be an easy peasy Punisher for them once the next one is in. Because obviously they will have a talent advantage here over their opponent. So, yeah. Top side. Honestly, I don't think he has done anything this game except for like just sitting at the top side and trying to just like push it out. He has most of the hero damage though. He's trading damage with Sonya just the entire game. But he hasn't really joined a lot of the team fights so far. Siege damage for him is a 53,000, which is nearly on the same level that Asmodan has. Which is not bad at all, considering that he can keep up with him up to now. Yeah, he's really stacking the damage against Sonya here, isn't he? He got the solo kill earlier too. Asmodan, by the way, is now on 307 stacks, which should actually make it possible for him to get 400 stacks by level 20, so he gets his full-on quest reward with a level 20 talent. So, with this, we're just waiting for the next objective to be announced. This time we're going to see the Punisher spawn in the middle of the map. But of course, there's a little bit more to be done before that happens, and with the 16 talent advantage, you might as well just go through the top lane and try to see if you can maybe drop that fort there too. Eliminate the last one. And as the blue team is just giving this one up and moves bot side, tries to go for a trade here, that's definitely fair. From the blue team's perspective, this is, by the way, not a horrible move, because taking this fort down and taking that lane means they're going to get level 16 for the next fight. And that's all that they can hope for. You want to have an even talent fight with your opponent for the next objective, or you know you're going to be in trouble. But now they can push this even harder. And I really think they should have tried to go a little bit deeper here. There's obviously now a Hearthstone happening, but I think they could have taken pretty much part of the wall. But they baited them back, so now they at least have the early access to the shrine. Yep, take the wave down here too. 330 stacks now for Asmodan. And that's a very significant early lead. We still don't have level 16, so they're actually defending at this point. Trying to get some experience. That's also the reason why Brightwing is currently sitting in the middle of the map. And with 18, I mean, even with level 16, you need to YOLO, and you need to YOLO hard, or this one's over. The objective. So now they're starting to go in. There's the volley. Lockdown! Oh, and the kill against Kalthas. Frontline Kalthas gets wrecked. Over here, I'm still waiting for a good leap from Sonya, but so far we didn't have any of those engages. Muradin with another Stormbolt. He's sitting at 12 stacks on the level 1. There's the leap, and I'm not quite sure if that's going to work out. If there's an Asmodan connect, that's going to hurt a lot, but he seems to be on cooldown. Tries to get some damage in. Over here towards the top. There's a bit of a connect with Muradin at least. But Imperius gets away, and Johanna is still fully alive, and the objective is falling. So another Punisher in the hands of Fat Nova, and they are absolutely crushing right now. It's a fantastic game for them. Started with great rotations on the Johanna Asmodan front to get him stacked a little bit quicker. Now they move through the middle, go even for the mercenary camp here. Which you could argue you should delay a little bit, but yeah, not too much. What are you doing? Why? Why? No! Oh! He procs the stun in front of the wall, and now they're getting hammered into the ground. Oh my god, hammer meets nail. Oh. This is getting nasty. Sonya is down. Fugitive absolutely screwing the defense up. The entire team waits behind the wall, and he just goes full on YOLO. Right wing is down. The keep eliminated. The core is open. I can't believe that just happened. Everything was set up for the defense, and Muradin just walks straight into the Punisher range and vision. Gets dropped. The star. Oh my god. And then the inevitable happens. They get absolutely murdered. Oh wow. And that is game. Fat Nova takes the victory, the 2-1 against Hotshot in Division 6. Congratulations and well played.